It's vital to prioritise lifecycle management. This can optimise an aircraft's life over time if built in early to the acquisition strategy. Original equipment manufacturers such as Collins Aerospace can help implement such programs through the use of approaches like performance-based logistics or PBL, a proactive sustainment approach that reduces lifecycle costs while boosting mission readiness. Francis St. Louis is Associate Director of Sales and Business Development for Asia Pacific at Collins Aerospace. He outlines the benefits of lifecycle analysis and the impact such an approach can have on lifecycle costs.
Building a planned lifecycle management approach early in the acquisition strategy of a program will definitely help optimize a platform or an asset useful life over time. Doing these life cycle cost analysis can be achieved through engaging OEMs or system OEMs like Collins Aerospace for the implementation of sustainment programs, such as integrated logistics support or ILS, or performance-based logistic programs, PBLs. This proactive approach to sustainment, has the objective to reduce life cycle costs while improving the mission readiness. And you do that through an increase of part availability. There's proactive obsolescence management. It gives you a better analysis of your component reliability engineering, the expert field service engineering that you need, as well as dedicated on-site training programs. So bringing the equipment or system OEM early into the acquisition process benefits the overall life cycle management strategy. This allows for a tailored sustainment approach to fit the customer goals and objective. And through this, you want to ensure that your return on your investment over the life of the asset or the program is as high as possible. So through a life cycle cost analysis, you're going to help your decision maker to make better decision in terms of increasing your return of investment over the life cycle of the asset.
What factors should an operator consider when looking at life cycle costs? It's important to conduct an economic analysis, setting alternatives to assess and compare the impact on future costs.
So, high level, the major component of a life cycle cost analysis should include, the initial acquisition of the system or the platform or the asset. What are the integration costs, testing costs? What spare level do we need? What kind of maintenance we'll need to do during the life of the asset or the platform? You need to cater for the repairs. Something that is often, or not, I should say often, sometime it is skipped over is all the training, support, and documentation. If you want to have success and make sure that you don't keep repairing an asset or a system all the time, catering for training in your life cycle costs is very important. Another variable to consider also with what is the involvement of program and supply chain management, some of the operating costs over the life cycle costs, modernization and growth of the solution. As we know, we're not, usually when you do a life cycle cost analysis, you're not buying a system or an asset just for a few years. It's over a longer period of time. So over a longer period of time, technology is going to change. So in a life cycle cost analysis, you need to cater for modernization and growth. And also you can look at disposal at the end of its useful life. So in order to build a life cycle cost analysis, two things very important. First of all is the gathering and validating the data that you need to build your model, but also to make it clear what are the assumptions that you take. This is very critical.
With so much to consider, it's vital to tailor a life cycle cost analysis to the individual needs of the user. This is a crucial consideration for Collins Aerospace.
Yes, at Collins Aerospace, when we work with customers to prepare life cycle cost analysis, we tailor it to the need of the user and well, what exactly they want to procure. So it is a very tailored approach. So lowering that life cycle cost can be straightforward and a direct measure of economic value to stakeholder. But the way that we like to working with our customers to really understand what are their needs, their problem to solve, and see how can we help them build that matrix or that life cycle cost analysis to respond to their needs. So at Collins, we use this approach as a trade-off technique or matrix to assist our customer in understanding the value of one solution over another. So we help customer build their matrix, and they can use it to do some comparison with other vendors in procuring a system or an asset.
Francis St. Louis is based in Singapore, an important part of the rapidly growing Asia-Pacific market. The country's experience is a good example of how a strong knowledge of life cycle costs can positively impact a military operator. Singapore's Defence Science and Technology Agency, or DSTA, is responsible for performing acquisitions management, systems management, and systems development for the Singapore Ministry of Defence and the Singapore Armed Forces.
So it is of public record that in Singapore, for example, the acquisition or the procurement authority, so Defence Science and Technology Agency, or DSTA, they use an adaptation of a life cycle cost analysis for some of their major procurement, which is called an analytic hierarchy process. And that's a variation of a life cycle cost analysis where it gives an evaluation framework and acquisition strategy to measure the total life cycle cost and the program benefit of each proposal they receive. And that helped them to do an objective and quantitative evaluation. Then after that, the benefits are subsequently weighted against the program cost, and each proposal is then compared, and they get this data to make their decision.
While Asia-Pacific is a crucial focus for aviation providers across the board, it comes with its own unique trends. This is certainly true when it comes to sustainment needs and strategies.
So some of the trends that we see in Asia Pacific. So for most countries that are outside of the US, we see challenge like availability of spare parts, especially if they come from a US platform. It can be challenge and or that obsolescence management or obsolescence issues. So that can be a challenge for operators in Asia Pacific. Obsolescence management is a big challenge for operators in the region. And also, last one that we see is sometimes accessibility to technology. Sometimes it is limited by products or systems or parts that are controlled by ITAR.
In episode 3, we'll take a closer look at the importance of collaboration between industry and government operators. For now, let's turn to Francis St. Louis for some final thoughts on how companies can support their military customers throughout the lifespan of their aircraft, providing a platform for fleet readiness across many years and decades.
I think we see a trend to be successful is through partnership and collaboration. There is a trend in the industry right now, and I can see it a lot in Asia Pacific, where countries are looking for localization for sustainment. So this is something that we do at Collins Aerospace, working with customers and trying to understand what's their need and see if there's something that we can do to help them. One thing that industry can do to help is to look into how they can support, let's say, local repair facilities in Asia Pacific, for example, to meet the need of the customer to have more local, but also through collaboration and partnership. It is also a key to success in order to be close to the customer, to understand their need, is to see how you can work, partner, and collaborate with the different organization or the different industries in the country.